On this episode of Mormons You Should Know About, meet Mr. Kenneth Wilstead, also known as the Tooth Fairy or Dr. Kenny Smiles. From April 1998 to April of 2000, he served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He went to Guatemala and describes his mission this way. For 2 years, I taught the wonderful people of Guatemala the gospel and helped them grow in the ways of our Savior and learn to be closer to him and learn his teachings to help us return to his presence and be happier here on earth. In May of 2010, he graduated from Temple University, Kornberg School of Dentistry. 3 years later, starting in June of 2013, he engaged in dishonorable conduct in the prescribing of controlled substances and was arrested on May 7, 2014 and charged with possession of a controlled substance by fraud and delivering a prescription for non-dental purposes. He was given an official reprimand, had to pay an administrative fine, had to join a PRN and submit to monitoring, participation in an inpatient or outpatient treatment program, and monitoring of therapeutic levels of drugs. He had to surrender his DEA permits for controlled substances and had to complete a total of 18 hours of continuing ed courses, among other things. Next, in May of 2019, he was accused of violating the laws and rules that regulate the practice of dentistry for failing to meet the minimum standard of care and then abandoning a patient. He was issued a formal warning, had to pay a fine, do 15 more hours of continuing education, and promised to abide the laws. In 2020, he was accused of similar allegations as 2019, was this time given a reprimand, ordered to pay a fine, do 9 hours of continuing ed courses, and once again promised to abide the laws. In March of 2021, when he was calling himself the Tooth Fairy, he came under fire after a video surfaced of him and his daughter making some racist comments that they appeared to know were wrong. Let's watch the video and you can decide for yourself what you think about it.
History was my worst subject, if you guys didn't know.
There's no thinking in history.
Who else besides the Indians do you think, if it wasn't the Indians, that we were fighting?
Mexicans.
Okay.
Them dang illegals. Don't post that. I'll get hate. I also said last thing you posted. So
That's part of the song, though.
people, I don't care if people are gonna think I'm racist.
Not because it's part of a song.
I think that hard.
Me too.
But
Not in front of
I
niggas. I don't be saying in front of black people. And I'm sure you got a lot of black followers. Love you.
For the next part of the story, let's go to NBCnews.com in an article from last September. A Texas dentist who is known for his brash, edgy humor on social media where he has hundreds of thousands of followers has been accused of bullying and sexual harassment by several women who say they received inappropriate messages from his official social media accounts. Dr. Kenneth Wilstead, who goes by Dr. Kenny Smiles on Instagram and Dr. Kenny Smiles Official on TikTok, often shares his smile makeovers on social media. The videos typically show a person in his dentist's chair discussing how their teeth got to the state they're in, and then the video cuts to the patient gazing at their new perfect smile. The videos rack up hundreds of thousands of views on platforms like TikTok, where Wilstead has more than 700,000 followers, and on Instagram, where he has more than 500,000 followers. But on August 31st, when Wilstead shared a call out for a new reality show, some women online started to raise their concerns about how he treats his female patients, as well as women who seek out his dental help. NBC News spoke with 4 women and their experiences with Wilstead, who is 43 years old. And one TikToker also claimed that he is
a husband, a father of 3, a grandfather, and a practicing Mormon.
Back to the article. 2 women who were prospective patients said they received sexually explicit messages sent from his account but never met with him in person. Another woman said she received bullying messages from his account on social media. A 4th woman said she filed a complaint against him after he swore at her and told her that her dental problems were in her head. Wilstead is the only dentist listed under the About Us page on the website for his practice, Smile Again Dental. It's unclear whether other dentists work there. In a lengthy email statement to NBC News, Wilstead said, "I have staff who help handle my social media. The character I play both online and in my office has been something I have used to break the tension of a stressful experience, and unfortunately sometimes people who don't have full context feel like I cross the line, and it's their right to have their own opinions," he wrote. "I respect that right." However, he said he believes the current situation stems from a blow-up of a few written comments. In regard to the legal action being taken against him, he said, "A woman is suing me and falsely accusing me of touching or grabbing her buttocks." He wrote that he is totally innocent of any inappropriate touching of that woman. A spokesperson for Meta said it removed 2 of Wilstead's videos on Instagram after receiving a request for comment from NBC News, saying the videos violated the platform's community guidelines. The spokesperson also said that after viewing Wilstead's account, it has placed him on a short-term ban from using Instagram Live, citing repeated rule breaking.
Are you happy? Do you speak English?
Yes, sir.
A spokesperson for TikTok did not provide NBC News with a comment about Wilstead's content. Taylin Pico was one of the first people to speak out on TikTok about Wilstead allegedly being sexually inappropriate in messages. Her video gained traction after it was shared by Ophelia Nichols, often referred to as Mama Tot on TikTok. Nichols, who has more than 12 million followers on the platform, had previously elevated Wilstead's content after the dentist offered to fix for free a tooth she'd broken. In her first video about him, which is no longer on the platform, she suggested Wilstead offer his services to someone more in need. He later fixed the teeth of 3 people for free. Pico, 27, told NBC News that she had jumped at the opportunity for a free smile makeover because in the past she'd been quoted as needing $60,000 worth of dental work. She posted an audition video, then messaged Wilstead on Instagram. At first, Pico received a message that said Wilstead would respond to her shortly. Then she received a follow-up message that appeared to be from Wilstead himself, in which he explained he would be traveling to potential patients' homes to decide if they were right for his show. NBC News has reviewed the messages. "Please send me 10 more pictures of your size, shape, and stuff like that, please. This show is about a lot of things beyond teeth, so that will help me," the message read, adding clothing optional along with a skull emoji. "You took my most vulnerable moment and one I would never post online, and that was supposed to be funny," Pico said, adding that she felt taken advantage of by Wilstead's alleged remark. Annalie Timmerman, 32, said she was inspired to come forward after seeing others, including Pico, sharing their experiences. Timmerman was one of the makeover hopefuls who posted an audition to TikTok seeking to become a patient of Wilstead's. In the audition video, Timmerman cries as she describes the genetic condition she suffers from called oligodontia, which results in missing teeth. After posting her video, Timmerman realized that Wilstead followed her on Instagram. She sent him a direct message asking if he had seen her video and apologized for being an ugly crier. A response from Wilstead's verified account, which has been viewed by NBC News, reads, "Just wanted to have sex with you. It's fine." My message from him had sat in my Instagram messages for a couple of days before I ever said anything about it because it's intimidating, she said. Of course I wanted to be like, who the hell does this guy think he is? But he has such a huge platform. In response to the clothing optional message allegation, Wilstead referred to his staff. "We were running a contest and one of them made the comment clothing optional, knowing how I sometimes joke with my patients," he wrote. "The same is true of the comment that I wanted to have sex with the woman who called herself ugly. It was a misjudgment of my staff trying to impersonate the way they thought I might speak. I don't defend either of the statements, which were in poor taste." In an August 17th video on his Instagram page, Wilstead is heard making a joke about his sex life to a 90-year-old patient and the people who came in with her.
I'm like, all right, it's my bucket list of fucking 90-year-old, so.
You said it, you're Ken and she's your Barbie.
All right, yeah. I'm your Ken doll.
Yeah.
In a September 11th video on Instagram, he calls a patient's teeth disgusting. A spokesperson for Meta said that it removed the September 11th video after a request for comment made by NBC News. Lauren Spalding, 30 years old, said she felt bullied by Wilstead when she reached out seeking dental treatment in February after losing teeth during 2 pregnancies. In their exchange, which was viewed by NBC News, Spalding sent him images of her teeth and asked for an estimate. When she misunderstood a message about the quote, he allegedly called her a dip shit. Spalding said she later fell into a depression after her interaction with Wilstead, lost her job, began taking antidepressants, and struggled with suicidal ideation. "It just takes one harsh word to make someone go over the line," Spalding said. "It could just take someone as vile as him pushing someone over the edge, you know?" She and the other women said they hope that by speaking out, others won't be subjected to the misbehavior they've experienced. "What if it was like a little 19-year-old and more brittle and more vulnerable," she said. "That's the part that gets me." In his email statement, Wilstead said he doesn't recall the incident Spalding alluded to. "If someone wants to complain now to be part of the vocal minority on social media to make them feel like they are part of something, I get it," he wrote. "That is the nature of the society we live in. It seems like a feeding frenzy of people wanting to join the Hate Dr. Kenny Club, and that is their right. However, he said he is disheartened by this situation. Here's another little video clip of him.
How'd you get a husband with teeth like that?
I don't know.
He is also listed on floodlit.org, where it says Kenneth Wilstead was a Mormon church member and dentist in Garland, Texas. He was a social media famous dentist who did smile makeovers for individuals with need of dental makeovers. He has been accused of sexual misconduct and sued for touching women inappropriately, sending sexually explicit texts, and sexual harassment. It appears that Dr. Kenny Smiles, or should we call him Brother Kenny Smiles, social media accounts are still up and functioning, and he is as popular as ever. Just another Mormon you should know about. And that's your information for today, folks. I absolutely hope you have the day that you deserve.